Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to today's video. This episode will guide you through the issues of the New Mutants published by Marvel Comics in 1984. Issue number 11. When the Black Priestess Celine tried to kill Amara Aquilla, something unexpected happened. Amara was reborn as a personification of the molten heart of Mother Earth herself, and she now has vowed to put a stop to Celine's sacrifices of innocent people. No more will she allow Celine to use other people's life energies to sustain her own, and she attacks Celine with a blast of magma from her hands. If it's up to Amara, Celine's reign of terror stops this night. But Celine says that remains to be seen. Celine herself is not without powers either. Since before the dawn of history, she has preyed on mankind. Many have tried to slay her, but their bleached bones are a clear enough testament to their failures in doing so. She tells Amara that where she has the power to command living flame, Celine herself has the power to bring all inanimate things to life, as she attacks Amara by unleashing stone monsters on her. Amara's brute force is no match for Celine's skill and experience. She never really had a chance from the start. Danielle watches this battle unfold as she's still trying to grasp what happened to Amara to begin with. She knows it wasn't Celine's doing, since she was as surprised as Danny herself was. She turns towards Celine and is shocked to see what her face looks like. Suddenly Celine looks a lot older than before, and she tells Danielle that every victory has its cost, and this victory cost her a lot. But she also tells her that will be easily rectified, even though that will cost her loyal disciples, as she sacrifices each and every one of them. The disciples that have gathered in the cave are being attacked by the stone walls around them. They scream out, asking the priestess to spare them, saying that they served her well as they get pushed into the pit, getting burned alive. And with each and every one of their lives being sacrificed, Celine's youth and vigor gets restored. Celine then gives Danielle a taste of what it feels like to be an energy vampire, and tells her that they are bound by name and by blood. A link that will never be broken. She also tells her that she will make Danielle her own, and she will do the same to her friends. And together they will reach out across the world and make it theirs. Danielle tells Celine, who is surprised at her mental resistance, that she's no one's slave, and even though Celine is convinced that she will prevail in the end, Danielle is about to tell her that she's the least of her worries, as suddenly the lava pool starts exploding. Amara jumps out and says that Celine's ploy failed. She panicked at first, but soon realized that she could just as easily burn through Celine's rock demons like lava would. And she asks Celine if she can do the same, and she engulfs her with lava. The temperature in the cave is rising, and Danielle knows that she had better not let the lava touch her. There's nowhere to go for her, as the exit is cut off by molten rock now, and she can't really climb any higher up the slope she's on already. The flames are getting too close and are starting to burn her sides. She loses her grip and falls on the floor, right in front of Amara, who she says hi to. She asks how she's doing, and Amara just looks at her. Then their minds accidentally link up. Danny did not intend for this to happen, but she sees Amara's greatest fear, and is projecting it and showing it to Amara by accident. She's scared of killing her, of her powers getting out of control, but she does not want to hurt Danny. Amara is as spooked as Danielle herself was when she first found out about her powers, which makes Danielle wonder if Amara could be a mutant too, because she is about the right age for her powers to start manifesting themselves. She tells Amara she understands what she's going through and that she wants to help her. She is not alone. Amara then tells Danielle to just look at her. She's become a monster. She asks how she could ever face her father again, or live a normal life in general. She thinks it's probably better to just die instead. Something that Celine is more than happy to help her out with, and to put her out of her misery. She blasts her and snares her and drains the life essence right out of her, leaving Amara's lifeless body in Danielle's arms. And Celine has rarely tasted anything as delicious, and she tells Danielle that she will be able to do this as well, very soon. And she promises Danielle that in time, she will come to love doing it as much as Celine herself does. Meanwhile, in another part of Nova Roma, at the villa of Amara's father, the survivors of his personal guard are being led away, under the watchful eyes of the troops which are loyal to Celine's husband, Senator Marcus Gallio. The New Mutants, who are his new allies, are standing beside him. He tells them that they have done well in assisting suppressing Aquilla's treason and saving Nova Roma from a civil war. While he says this, Sam is thinking to himself, if that's true, why is he feeling so lousy then? Roberto tells Gallio that Danielle has been missing for a whole of the evening and that they're afraid something might have happened to her. Gallio tells the Centurion to form search parties, to scour the city and finding the girl alive and unarmed. The Centurion tells him that it's more than likely that the Black Priestess has captured her. Gallio then tells him that he doesn't want excuses from him, and he should do as he's told. Rain tells Gallio that she could help searching in her wolf form, but he tells her that she's the goddess here and should leave this to him instead, while he thinks to himself that Rain helping the search parties is the last thing he would want. Senator Aquilla tries to warn Rain that she will get betrayed by Gallio, just like he has done to Nova Roma. He says that Gallio is a liar and a traitor himself. Gallio tells the kids to not pay any attention to the rantings of Aquilla, because he speaks from a depraved and demented mind. As Senator Aquilla says that he has proof of his claims, Gallio tells the Centurion to silence him, and he does so by slamming him in the back with his spear. Roberto takes a look at the prisoners and sees a red-haired woman again, thinking it's his mother, but it's too dark to be 100% certain. He whispers to Sam to cover for him, and Sam asks him where he's going, but Roberto tells him to take care of Rain and that he will tell him later. He also tells him that he should watch his own back as well, because he thinks that Sam might be right about his suspicions about Gallio. Sam says he's got it, and wishes Roberto good luck. Roberto then hides himself and figures he would need a disguise to get into the prison. He attacks one of the legionaries from behind and knocks him out cold. He then makes his way, dressed up as a legionary, and thinks to himself about Gallio and what Sam suspects, and about Rain's reservations towards that, because she believes Sam is only thinking this because he's attracted to Aquilla's daughter Amara. He figures Rain is jealous of that, and wonders if Sam is even aware of how she feels for him. He then thinks back to how they were attacked earlier tonight by an assassin, who claimed to be working for Aquilla, which of course gave Gallio a convenient excuse to eliminate his prime political rival, and he had his army all ready to go as well. He sees an open door, and when he takes a closer look, he hears voices. Voices he recognizes all too well. It's the voices of his mother and Castro. He sees his mother bound up in chains against the wall and Castro is taunting her. He decides to eavesdrop on their conversation, and his mother tells Castro that he's lying and not being employed by her husband at all. Castro says that that's technically correct, since he's serving the Hellfire Club, but since her husband Emmanuel is out to exploit Nova Roma's natural wealth, his job is to make sure that that can be done. He tells her that her husband loves her and would never order her death, but continues with telling her that this is a dangerous country and accidents do happen. He tells her that with Castro's help, Gallio will become Nova Roma's first emperor, and after that he will grant her husband mining privileges, but he assures her that she will not be around for that to witness at all. Roberto then interrupts them while standing in the doorway, with Castro only being able to see a soldier's silhouette, and he tells Roberto to get lost, that he was guaranteed privacy by the army's commander Senator Gallio. Roberto then powers up into a sunspot form and tears up his disguise, telling Castro that he says different. Castro is shocked at this and aims his gun at Roberto, but he's too slow to fire it. Roberto swings at him, launching Castro through the air and knocking him out cold. He releases his mother from the chains she was in, and she is very happy to see her son again, as he is her. She then tells him that she almost drowned but got saved by Amazons, who were apparently all girls from the city of Nova Roma, sent out to keep them safe from the Black Priestess. She tells her son that the Black Priestess and her cult of fire are incredibly ancient, and their victims are rumored to be sacrificed during unspeakable demonic rites. Roberto tells his mother that Danielle had gone on a reconnaissance mission hours ago, but that they haven't heard anything from her since. Not even Rain has heard anything from her through the mind link they share. She tells him that if the cult has her, she is in grave danger, and Roberto says that Senator Gallio never mentioned anything about this cult to them. He says that Gallio is likely to be happy about Danny being gone, and for all they know, he could secretly be a member of the same cult as well. With Gallio having won the conflict between him and Senator Aquilla, Roberto figures that he doesn't need any of them anymore, apart from Rain. He asks his mother if she is able to contact the Amazons, and she believes she could, but she asks Roberto why. He plans on freeing everyone in the pens from captivity, and wants to link up Senator Aquilla's men with the Amazons and the New Mutants as well. Together they might be able to thwart Gallio's plans in overtaking the rule of Nova Roma. She asks her son what about Danielle, and he tells her he would help her if he could, but she probably doesn't need it. She's very capable of taking care of herself. Roberto then mentions how he wishes it was daylight, because he needs his power to be charged up again by the sunlight. He has used his stored up solar energy quite a lot this evening and is pretty much drained. If they are all used up, his powers will be gone until dawn. He then asks his mother if what Casio said to her about his father is true. She tries to cover up for Emmanuel, so he asks her again, but this time more pressingly, and she has to tell him that yes, it is true. Somewhere else in the city, Roberto's sentiments of bitter betrayal are starting to be shared by his teammates. Sam is looking at the bound-up Senator Aquilla, who is sitting on his knees. His whole back has marks of having been whipped all over. Sam figures that even if Aquilla had been the scum of the earth, he would not have deserved getting treated like this. Rain can tell that Sam is angry, and she figures it's because of her, and she can't blame him. She figures this whole situation is her fault and doesn't understand how Gallio could be so nice and hospitable to them, yet be so cruel to Aquilla. She can tell that Gallio is enjoying this. One of his bodyguard soldiers is asking him what his orders would be, and Gallio whispers to him to poison Sam's wine because he served his purpose, and to add more slave drugs to Rain's cup. He tells Sam to cheer up. Sam tells him that he's sorry, but he was just worrying about Danny. Gallio knows that he's lying because he knows Sam is suspicious of him, but he knows that Sam can't do anything to save himself or his companions. He tells Sam to trust him and that Danielle will turn up eventually, and he proposes a toast to Danielle as he lifts his cup in the air. At that exact moment, Amara desperately jumps up from under the stone floor and screams out for her father. The tortured Senator Aquilla recognizes his daughter's voice instantly, and can't believe his eyes as he looks at her in her powered up form. She asks for him to save her. Gallio makes use of the way Amara looks, and orders his men to slay this demonic woman and her father both. Senator Aquilla tells his daughter to flee and to leave him to his fate, but she tells him that she couldn't, even if she wanted to. She is too weak to even defend her father. Senator Aquilla tells his daughter to flee and to leave him to his fate. She tells him that she couldn't, even if she wanted to. She is too weak to even defend her father. Roberto, who in the meantime has made his way to Gallio's place, swings in and attacks the army men, looking at Amara, wondering what had happened to her, and telling her to not worry, because the new mutants look after their friends. One of the guards shouts out to Gallio, because the place is being stormed. Roberto's mother, accompanied by the Amazon and Aquilla's legionaries, are barging through the hallway of the palace. Roberto asks Sam and Rain to start doing something as well, because they could use some help. Sam asks Roberto if that's his mom leading the army, and he confirms this. He tells Sam that he was right all along and they were helping the wrong side, and now it's time to make amends. Rain transforms into a wolf form and is determined to atone for her misjudgments, and defends the lives of both Senator Aquilla and Amara with her own life by jumping in front of them. Sam notices reinforcements coming in through the hall, and he uses the fact that the halls are narrow and blasts right through them, using his powers as cannonball. Roberto is about to get stabbed by a soldier, and instinctively reacts by powering up and hitting him hard. Not the smartest of moves, because he could have probably subdued him with his judo skills and saved the little solar power he has left, but it is very effective. He notices his shoulder is hurting where he got shot, and hopes that he hasn't torn the wound open again, as he gets approached by another soldier from behind. But Cannonball's there to save him, and Roberto says he owes him one. He tells Sam that according to his mother, most of the army men are neutral in the conflict between Gallio and Aquilla, so they basically only have to worry about his personal guards in the household. Sam sees Rain getting attacked and warns her, but Rain, even though she's a small girl, is pretty capable of standing her ground, especially in her transitional form. Yet she does get whacked over the head by Gallio with some kind of jar, knocking her out cold. He's about to slay Rain and Amara both with his sword, but gets stopped by Aquilla. The senator tells Gallio that this is his chance to kill him, as he so often alluded to, and the two men engage in a sword fight. Aquilla tells Roberto to leave Gallio to him and to rescue the girls instead. The two men are the same age, but Gallio is taller, more in shape and probably stronger. On top of that, he's pretty fresh, where Aquilla has been tortured. It should be an easy duel for Gallio, but Aquilla manages to stab him in the chest. Apparently, despite his looks, Aquilla is a far more skilled sword fighter than Gallio is. Or was. He immediately goes looking for his daughter and asks how she's doing. She says she was dying, that the Black Priestess Celine had almost drained all her life away. But the touch of the earth fully restored her back to life, She tells her new friends that Celine is a psychic vampire, and she plans to make Danny into a creature like herself. They now realize that Celine, Gallio's wife, was the Black Priestess all along, and that it all makes sense now. Roberto assumes that the tunnel which Amara created must lead back to Celine's hideout, and asks if Rain can track Danielle from there. And she says that she can, and she will, even if the trail leads her to the gates of hell itself. After a while, they make the journey through the tunnel, and Sam says that these tunnels remind him of the mines in Kentucky. He can tell they aren't natural tunnels and that someone dug them out. Amara says that it was probably Celine, as she has the power to make stone come alive. Roberto asks if that's the full extent of her abilities, but Amara doesn't know that exactly. This is all she has seen from her. Roberto thinks that Celine must be a formidable opponent if all that Amara says is true, and figures that he'd better save up all the power he has left stored in his body. He wishes he knew more about Amara's capabilities as well, and wonders if she's a mutant just like they are. It seems to him that's the only logical explanation. He warns Rain to not wander off too far from them, but it's too late. Stone doors seal off the opening right behind her, and cuts her off from the rest. Roberto figures that Celine wants to deal with them one at a time, and tells Sam to blast through the doors. Just as he says that, Sam, Amara and him get snared by tentacles made out of rock that pop up everywhere from the floor and the walls. It's Celine's doing and they have to break free fast, but before they can, they are covered entirely. All of them pretty much buried alive by rock. But not for long, because Sam blasts free from his encasement, and Amara uses her powers to melt the rock around her. She's terrified of her own powers, because if this is what she can do to stone, she fears what she might do to the people around her. Sam notices that she seems as lost as they all were, when they first manifested their powers. He wishes there was something he could say or do to make it easier on her. Sam does not have to be afraid of getting hurt when slamming into things, because he's invulnerable when he's blasting, and he just hopes that goes for picking up hot things as well. He picks up Amara, and luckily he doesn't get hurt by her. He picks up Roberto as well by smashing through his encasement and asks if he's alright. He tells Sam that he tried to use his powers but he couldn't. He figured he still had some solar juice in him, but apparently he doesn't. Sam tells him that in that case, he has to hang back and let the rest handle the situation with Celine. Roberto says there's no chance of that happening, because he stands by his friends, no matter what. Sam blasts through the walls and they find Celine and Danielle in a part of the cave where the moon is shining through the roof. Danielle's happy to see them, but Celine tells her to not delude herself. They did not come here to rescue her at all, but walked straight into their doom. Amara immediately deals with the rock wolf that's threatening Rain and says that she will do a whole lot worse to its creator. Danielle and Celine are both surprised to see Amara alive and well, and Celine rejoices in being able to feast on Amara's life essence once more. Rain then attacks Celine and Amara cheers her on in doing so, but Sam tells her not to do that because they are not killers. Celine asks Rain if she hasn't learned a thing from their first encounter, attacks her and the rest, and tells them she is not to be trifled with, nor will she perish by any mortal means. Danielle asks Celine to please stop and that she'll do anything, even become her slave, if she will just spare the rest of them. Celine just laughs at her and tells her that she's trying to bargain from a position of absolute weakness. Why would she give up anything if she can have them all? Roberto tells Danielle to stop begging for them and to not give the witch that satisfaction. He walks right up to Celine, but she easily takes care of him by striking him again with her powers. She asks him if he's a glutton for punishment, and if he would rather have her tear him apart limb by limb. Roberto then tells her to do her best, and that he will go up against her until his last breath. Then he notices that all Roberto is doing is making Celine go mad, and comes to the realization that that might actually be a smart move, because she has to have her limits as well. She's concentrating on Roberto so much that she has a weakened hold on Danielle. She now tries her powers on Celine once more, figuring that she might have a chance at being successful this time around, with Celine being distracted. And she is. Danielle catches Celine off guard and projects Celine's inner fear of truly dying. Roberto then makes use of this opportunity to drive a knife into Celine's chest, hoping that he will make her meet the Grim Reaper. But Celine tells him it might have been effective if she actually had a heart. Now in Celine's clutches, he gets drained of his life force by her. He can tell by the sky and the lack of visibility of the moon that it must be near sunrise, and tells Sam to break away the eastern wall of the cavern they are in. Sam knows what Roberto is thinking and wastes no time, breaks away the walls and allows the direct rays of sun to come in. Celine then gets stunned by Roberto's change into his sunspot form, and gets overwhelmed with the amount of life energy flooding in from him. They have to make use of this moment, however short it is. He tells Amara to burn a fissure in the ground as deep as she can. She can feel the lava deep underground, the lifeblood of the world. She can feel she's becoming one with it and has never felt such excitement and fear at the same time. Roberto then picks up Celine high in the air and is about to throw her in the lava pit Amara just created. Danielle tells Roberto to not do that and tells Sam to stop him, but Roberto tells them it's too late. He will cast her down in the tomb and then seal it shut behind her. Sam says that he killed her and Roberto responds by saying that she deserved no less. Sam says that that's not the point though. They are supposed to be better than that. Roberto tells Sam that that might be an easy rule for Professor Xavier to follow when he himself is safe back in New York. He tells him that he fears that all he has done though is just set back Celine for the time being. If there's even a way to destroy her, none of them know it. With the professor's help and some luck they might be able to learn though, and they can try and prepare themselves to be ready for the next time when she appears, which he expects will probably happen. Amara asks them what will happen to her now. She asks if her power will be a blessing or a curse, if she will become like them or like Celine. Thanks for watching this video and I hope you enjoyed it. You can help growing this channel by hitting the like button and by subscribing. This tells YouTube that the videos I'm making should be recommended to others and would be very much appreciated. See you next episode.